Okay, good. I see that we have Luis here. Hi, Luis. And Chris tried to join, but...
Hey, how are you doing?
Awesome, thank you. Hi, Anton.
Out connection is working all right. So if everything is all right, just let me know, please.
Okay, good. I see that we have Luis here. Hi, Luis. Hi, Luis. And Chris tried to join, but...
Hey, how are you doing?
Awesome, thank you. Hi, Anton.
Hi there. Hi, Nelly. Can you hear me well? The connection is working all right.
Yes, yes, I can hear you quite well. So I see Martin joined, Chris also rejoined us, and I also see some window without any name. So guys, we are the early birds today, but we still are waiting. Oh, Judith. Hi, Judith. Hope your connection is good.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Hi, Judith.
Hi. How are you?
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah.
So we are waiting for other participants to start, to join us. Sorry.
Okay.
Meanwhile, we can check our videos, our microphones, all the connections. Already 15 people are watching us in YouTube. Hi guys, thank you for joining. Thanks very much. So I guess that we will also allow some questions from YouTube, so that if we have time, we can also give the chance to investors to answer some questions from those startups who did not have chance to join the Zoom. And our team will try to identify the most relevant questions. Meanwhile, the most important thing, which will go on today, is that first we will start with brief introductions from investor side. We will have 5 or 6 investors joining us today. Judith represents Go Hub.
Yes.
Yes, this is well. I will not probably tell on behalf of investors. I will prefer to give them the word to introduce themselves. We just need to wait a little bit. Oliver also joined us. Oliver Blackie.
Hello. Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Oliver. Cool
Nice to
see you
meet
again.
everybody.
Your beard becomes bigger and bigger with the quarantine.
I know I get lazier and lazier every day. One day I'll get it sorted out.
But you still made making it today. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for the invite.
And one of the investors, so we are still waiting for Inveready, this VC fund from Barcelona, and also Maria from Banco Sabadell, Inner Sales VC fund. And one of the investors, Igor Shoifot, will join us a little bit later in the middle, because he lives in California, in Silicon Valley. And it is very early right now there. So he didn't probably manage to do it exactly at the start time. So it is 5 p.m. now in Europe, and I see that the majority of people already joined us. I'm glad to see you all, guys, and I'm glad to see already 20 people watching our live stream in YouTube, and I see that every minute more and more people join. That is great. So let's start. I prefer to start with giving the word to investors who are with us today, giving them a few minutes to introduce themselves and maybe special focus on what kind of startups they are looking at, or what is the main thing you want to hear in the startup pitch. It will also help to for startup founders to focus on the things which really matter in their pitch. And then we will have, I will announce startup by startup, and they will have 1 minute pitch. And then investors will be free to ask additional questions or give some feedback. And I hope, guys, investors, that you will have some startups which will really excite you. And I wish the startups to be sexy enough to attract interest of investors participating and to get a chance to follow up for the deal. So then let's start. Maybe we start with Judith. Judith, can you please briefly introduce yourself and your investment focus? Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be part of the jury of this event. So I work for GoHub. GoHub is the open innovation hub of Global Omnium. Global Omnium is the largest Spanish water utility company. We also have presence internationally in 6 different countries. And basically, the way that we win a competitive advantage is because we trust in technology. And GoHub is the bet for that. So basically in GoHub, what we do is we invest in pre-seed and seed companies, and we have an acceleration program where we invest 150K. It's an acceleration program of 6-9 months. And then we have a corporate venture fund of 20 million to invest in more mature companies, and we can invest from 500K to 3 million. Our focus is basically we invest in deep tech startups on the sector of industry 4.0 water industry and smart cities. And yeah, I think that this is very shortly what we do.
That's amazing, Judith. Thanks a lot. I think for everyone, it's clear what you are doing. Oliver, do you want to continue?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for the invite. I'm Oliver, one of the founding partners of Ascensive Asset Management. We're a small VCP type firm, mainly focusing on blockchain, health tech and climate tech, mainly coming out of Asia. And obviously now we're looking to sort of expand into the West. We invest anywhere from sort of pre-seed all the way through to Series A, and trying to sort of find deals where the founder's ideas is actually something new that's actually going to make a significant change in the world, not just copy paste and we have the next Facebook, like when we have no interest in that sort of thing. So new stuff that's not a copy paste or trying to disrupt an already perfectly fine industry.
Perfect, Oliver. Thanks a lot. Maria, glad to see you. Can you please introduce briefly yourself and your investment focus for other participants to understand?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everyone, and thank you for the invitation. My name is Maria. I'm basically on the investment team in InnoCells. InnoCells is the corporate venture capital arm of Banco Sabadell. Banco Sabadell is the 4th largest Spanish bank. We also have TSB in the UK, and we have a digital bank out of Mexico. And our investment focus is basically fintech, but in the widest spectrum of the word. So basically, it could include insurtech, deep tech, anything on that end. We do ticket sizes between 500K and 4 million. That's our comfort zone, but we invest out of the balance sheet, so we could scale it up depending on the opportunity. And I think in a nutshell, that's us.
That's awesome and very clear. Thanks a lot. Borja, glad to see you. And can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody, and thanks for the invitation. My name is Borja Balleste. I'm the investment manager at Inveready in the ICT area. As you might know, Inveready, we have different funds focused in different industries. I'm leading the ICT area. There's also life science. We have venture debt, and we have different funds. Overall, we have more than 400 million assets under management. We're located in Spain, and our target investment is seed round. We invest between 500K and 1 million in companies that basically are B2B. They have a deep tech background, or at least digital transformation focus. And we normally invest in Spain. We lead the rounds, but we are happy co-investing. And I hope I can find exciting projects here.
I hope too, and I think everyone hopes here. Thank you very much, Borja, and I hope, guys, who are investors, you also can collaborate further for co-investment opportunity. This is a good chance to meet each other. Thank you very much for your brief introductions. Other investors who didn't join, I hope I didn't lose or miss anyone. No, no. For the moment, everyone is here, and everyone introduced. No.
You actually lost me.
Oh, Sergey, I'm so sorry. I'm looking at you, but I did not realize that it is you from LETA Capital.
I see. I have a sign here. Okay. I also introduced myself in a few words. I'm Sergey. I'm partner at LETA Capital. LETA Capital is Moscow-based venture capital firm with 2 funds under management. The latest one is 50 million size fund. We prefer to invest in software companies. They're late seed stage, round A stage, sometimes round B, but the most comfortable zone is round A, with some initial sales to scale, with average check between $500,000 up to 2 million as initial deal, and up to 5 million if we decide to follow on. So that's the main target. And actually, I was going to emphasize it. For me personally, it's interesting to look at the companies who, trying to make something different and who's doing something wrong in terms of the whole market believes that it won't work in the nearest futures, but you as a founder believe in yourself, believe in your vision, and actually if you can convince us, it would be great. So.
Oh my God, I love you emphasizing this, because I hear so often from startup founders that they do exactly this, that nobody believes in, but they do. I hope that some of the founders here got more inspired now and forgot your fears. So let's go on. I suggest to start with Boxart. It is a company from Russia with founder Andrew. Andrew, you have 1 minute. I'm counting it here. And after that, please do your best, pitch your project, and then we will have the feedback from investors.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Andrew. Imagine your parents have a personal fitness trainer inside the smart speaker for the price only for 1 hour with a real coach. Boxart is a personal trainer for American senior citizens in smart speakers. Senior citizens completely ignore workouts on smartphones because it's inconvenient for them. But smart speakers are another matter. They have free hands, they interact with their voice, and they love their voice assistants. We launched our project 3 months ago, and magic happened. In the first month, we made just $29 in revenue, but then people start telling each other about us. And in the second month, we have $100 and $300 for the third month. 15% of users take a trial. 85% is paid after the trial. We plan to open a seed round in the next few months. If you, like us, want to help senior citizens be healthy and fit, let's make a call. Thanks.
Super. Thank you, Andrew, very much. Thank you for keeping the time. And I want to ask investors, do you have any additional questions or feedback, or maybe you feel interested to talk privately with Andrei and make an interview email?
Yeah, why, unless I was misunderstanding the small language barrier, this is like Alexa fitness basically, right?
Yes, it's for senior citizens.
But why only senior citizens? Surely at the current timing of the world, like this would be great for every age group.
Because when we see how different age group can do workout, for example, at home or at gym, we have many offers from different smartphone apps for young people, and we don't have anything for senior people. to do workout at home. And now we have a lot of smart speakers in the United States, and we made our app.
Okay, brilliant, thank you.
Sergey, Maria, Judith, Borja, any questions to Andre?
Yeah, I have a question if I might. Hi, Andre. Have you made any study or have you got any numbers regarding the penetration of smart speakers within senior people in the States, if you're targeting that market?
Yes, sure. Now, Amazon and Google sold about 150 million smart speakers in the United States, and it's cover about 80% of all household, and we can see these numbers, and we don't have any numbers about senior citizens, but if we have info that 80% of American household has a smart speakers, it's enough for us.
Quick question. I mean, how do they know that they're actually doing it right? Because, I mean, I've tried many of these applications, and the ones that you can follow video plus audio are the ones that are easier to follow, given that your target market is like elder people. They are not, you know, the best ones in like knowing what they should be doing and what shape they should be doing it with.
Can you repeat shortly, please? Because I have some trouble
I'm saying,
with
like,
internet.
My question is basically how you're going to make sure that they are following the directions that you're saying, and they are following with the right posture, or like they are doing it right, basically.
Okay. We got feedback after every workout session. When you start session, our fitness trainer on Alexa will say you how you need to do it, and after every training session, Alexa will ask you everything is clear for you or no. And we have a lot of good comments about it. We use only exercise, which you can do without video, but about 20% of our users have Alexa with screen, and we plan to add video too.
Did I get right that you actually compete with, you know, kind of TV shows and radio shows, fitness radio shows, I don't know, with some kind of feedback loop from elder citizens, and actually the only value proposition that you can ask that people like, how do they feel? Because, you know, that fitness TV programs exist, I believe, dozens of years, and what makes different. And, you know, for me, I just trying to imagine, I don't know, 17 years old, and why shouldn't I use TV, and instead this I should use Alexa, for example.
Yeah. Okay. You mean what's different between our app and some TV show, right?
Exactly. And what's the point? Why should I use your app? No, I'm talking not about difference about the value proposition. Like, you know, there is a lot of people, and why they should use your app instead of regular TV shows, for example.
Yes, because when you watch TV show, you just watch exercise, and you don't have your personal program, and you don't have your achievements and some track of your progress. It's like if you will now, it's like work app for smartphone, but only on Alexa and for senior citizens.
Okay, thank you very much, Andrei, for, oh, sorry, Judith, you wanted to ask question?
Yeah, but no problem. We can go. I will ask in another.
Oh, I just thought that the time is limited,
Yeah,
and
Okay.
maybe if someone is interested to talk with Andrei, dear investors, we will share all the pitch decks of all presenting startups today with you, and we will be happy to stay at your disposal if you need any kind of introductions or additional questions after that. Right now, thank you, Andrei, and
Thanks a lot.
thank you. I want to introduce the next speaker. He's from France, from the project Secondshack, the founder Ben Manson-Toussaint. Ben?
Yes, finally. Do you hear me well? Because I'm having some hard time hearing you. You hear me well?
Good.
Okay. Yeah, you're sounding like robots. So yeah, very good. Awesome. Hi everyone. I'm Ben Manson-Toussaint. I'm based in France, and I'm co-founder and CEO of Secondshack. Secondshack is a marketplace for language services. Our platform makes it easy to find vetted and seasoned language experts with experience and expertise to serve specialized content. And this is in more than 40 languages and over 55 fields of expertise now. We are, with this value proposition, we are specifically addressing the problem for high profile content producers like academics, scientists, self-publishing authors. Their hard time to find background check language expert online that are knowledgeable in their industries. Contrary to the competition, we don't barely gather freelancers in one place, but we also make it automatic and simple for any customer to find the perfect expert for the work. This is an important innovative change that our users on both sides of the market particularly love. And over the last 18 months, we've grown our supply side by more than 850% and our demand side by 300%. Our business model is to keep a 10% commission on transaction. But as we speak, we are rolling out a subscription-based model for premium services to translators and a membership-based model for institutions to prepay language services credits for their members. We've raised the first round of funds on January. I'm just wrapping up. And now we are looking for a seed round. Yeah, that's it.
So yeah, thank you. Sorry for interrupting you, but I have to do it to be
no problem.
In the shape.
No problem.
So any questions from investors?
I can start. What is your growth strategy? So and what are the target market for that?
Yeah. Actually, the niche that we are targeting at first is the academic world, like scientists, graduate students, international students for now, mostly in Europe. 80% of our users for now are European, but we started to tap into the American market as well. And de facto, because we have a lot of them coming on the platform right now, South Americans, mostly from Brazil, Chile, Venezuela, yeah, mostly. And the thing is, after the pandemic, we've shifted strategy because most of the scientific events have been canceled, and we saw the impact on our business, on our deal flows actually. And so now we are trying to broaden the customers that we are targeting, to have maybe customers that need less specialized content, but less, smaller but more frequent. For example, like bloggers, copywriters, and people like this. So we are trying now to just shift strategy. This is a lesson that we've learned from the pandemic impact right now.
Thank you.
Does that answer the question? Not sure.
Yes.
Okay.
So if there are no more questions from investor side.
Yeah. How did you come to all that idea, actually? Why did you decide to start that business, and what personally you to do that business?
Yeah, very common. Nothing extraordinary about it. It was a personal problem back when I was a PhD student. English is not my first language, and at some point you become very autistic when you're writing papers, and I wanted external eyes from people who know the understand, who know the language. And I've lost money, I've lost energy and time hiring people on, I name it, on Fiverr. and we were like with my colleagues, but why can't we find a place where we can be sure about the background of these people, and we can know that we can entrust them our work, and even paying maybe more money, but being sure about the quality. And 3 years after this, we launched Secondshack. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ben. Thank you, Sergey and Judith, for your questions. If there are no questions for investors, give them time to digest and maybe refer back later.
Nelly, sorry for interrupting you, Nelly. I just wanted to introduce myself a little bit, because I'm not Sergey is not the only one who's been missed. So Sergey, you're not alone. I support you totally, and yeah, I'm here with you, so you're not alone. So just for those who don't know me, I'm also the part of InnMind. So I represent the different segments and areas of work, but currently at this point, I'm just going to be like additional eyes and hands of Nelly. So I'm just going to be addressing some of the interesting questions that maybe some of our viewers that are watching this interview, this session right now live on YouTube, and I'll be addressing their questions to you startups or to you investors. In case you consider relevant answering, of course, you can do it. In case we also have time to do it. So I'm not going to take much of your time. Wish you all best of luck once again, and we'll be really happy to communicate with all of you later on in case you have any other questions for us as well.
Anton, thanks a lot for this intervention. Yes. And yes, I just wanted to mention, sorry for forgetting to do it, that the audience, which we have watching us now on YouTube, they can also ask some questions. And if we have time, would be great if we can answer them, because additional to the business purpose, additional goal of this kind of event is also to educate. And other startup founders and entrepreneurs who are watching us now, they can learn from the mistakes or excellences of other startups pitching today, and from investors' feedback, of course. So learning by doing and learning by watching. Thank you for being with us today. And the next founder is from Estonia, the company Smart Credit IO, and founder Martin Ploom. Martin, you are welcome to start. 1 minute.
Hello guys, so I'm Martin, I'm co-founder of Smart Credit IO. So we are in the crypto lending business, consumer to consumer and business to consumer. Now we are decentral finance projects, a DeFi project. We don't control the client assets, we have no access to them. That is unique to us. So first, it's a very low collateral ratio, factor 2.5 less than the DeFi standard. The second, we are tokenizing the loans. We make them transferable, and they can be packaged in the fixed income funds. And this is our third key feature. So private fixed income funds, where the investors will just define the investment rules, and the rest is working in an automated way. And the next one, very important. The last one, very important. So it's a credit as a service API for integration, wallets, marketplaces, exchanges, payment engines. So we manage the risk. The other partners, they bring the users. So any questions, please let me know.
Thank you, Martin. Any questions?
Yeah, if you're tokenizing a loan, how then the token is obviously going to be tradable, right?
Oh, no. The ideas, the tokens are not tradable, because these tokens have it's the face value. Okay, I'm a CFA, so for me it's a very easy chartered financial analyst. So I worked 10 years for Credit Suisse. So the token has is a fair value. So the idea is not to make them like a tradable. The idea is to make them transferable on the fair value. So if the loan had like half of the duration is loan term is gone, so we can say it accumulates the half of the interest already, and the other part will get the other part of the interest. So it's a transferability of the loans, so on the fair value.
Okay, so it's like a zero value NFT.
Okay. Can you say it again?
It's like a zero value NFT.
Okay, I don't know what NFT is, but maybe if you refer to zero bonds, then it's like a zero bond.
Yeah, like a zero value non-fungible token.
Oh, okay, I will not go into so much in the details, but the idea is, yes, the transferability. And because of this transferability, we will get this fixed income feature. so that we can package them together. So I mean, that's the key.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, how's the credit risk? How do you do the credit risk for
Very good
the ones
question.
that are lending?
Perfect. Now we are doing the credit risk based on the soft data. So we are using okay. It's very easy. If you don't open your personal data, so you have the worst credit risk. So very good. Now, but the more data you open, the better credit score you can get. Not necessary that you get. So there is some social media data. User can open it or not open it, and then we have even some little test that the user can take or not take. Now, the more data user provides about himself, soft data, the better credit risk he can get, the credit score, and vice versa. Now, the less credit score, the better interest, the better collateral requirements, and vice versa. So user will monetize his personal data directly.
Okay, thank you.
Did it answer your question?
Did I answer the question?
Well, yeah, I had a follow-up question on that, but I think it's better if anyone has any other question, and then I can always follow up with you.
Okay, other questions from investors? No. Then now,
thank you guys.
Martin. Thank you. Good presentation. And the next presenter today is from South Africa. The founder, Matsa, and the company is EsusFarm. By the way, they recently won the Innovation Challenge by the World Bank. Hi, Watson.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you guys doing? Good day. I'm Matsa. I'm the co-founder and CEO of EsusFarm. We're the recipient of the 2020 World Bank Innovation Challenge for agricultural data. EsusFarm is an agri-food company that provides agricultural production data on smallholder farmers in rural areas in an effort to increase farmers' productivity, market access, credit access, and improving the overall efficiency of the value chain. In a nutshell, EsusFarm provides the following solutions. We collect real-time food production data. We provide markets for smallholder farmers, including smart contracts with markets that are blockchain enabled. We monitor the quality of produce, and this is what makes us very different. We provide a credit record for smallholder farmers. We use Microsoft Azure to deploy the technology. Our technology does not need a smartphone, Wi-Fi, or data for the farmer to use because in Africa, connectivity is a problem. Our addressable market is 100 million smallholder farmers in Africa and another 126 million smallholder farmers in India. We currently have 2 customers and are based in 2 countries in Africa. We're looking for seed funding of 700,000 euros for a 10% stake in our company. Thank you.
Thank you, Watson. You are nearly in time. Any questions from investor side? Sergey?
Yep. How do you reach your customers? Especially you mentioned the lack of, for example, connectivity. So does it take a lot of physical efforts to reach them and tell about solution or some other ways?
Yes. So definitely it's an intensive exercise and a once-off exercise of actually going to the farmer. We're currently doing that in Swaziland, in Africa, whereby actually we have partnered up with Farming Development Agency that really houses farmers which are being supported. So a lot of government programs are supporting farmers, but they don't have the system, the data to actually monitor them. So we actually go to them first, and then they say, okay, fine, we've got 10,000 smallholder farmers that you guys need to digitalize. So then they give us all their locations, and then we go to those farmers and actually teach them how to use this software, which is an offline tool. And once we teach them, then they're able to use the software thereafter. And then thereafter, we're able to actually now proactively handhold the farmer via SMS or via calling to say, hey, farmer, you need to upload this data. You have not uploaded this data, because they need to have that data to actually monitor the farmer on the program.
What is the revenue model that you are planning?
Okay, so we've got a multi-tiered revenue model. For your government agencies, for your developmental programs, for any program that has support for smallholder farmers, we have a subscription model for them, whereby they pay per person to actually see the data. Then after that, because the farmer is on our platform, we also enable the buying and selling of goods on the platform. So we also have got transaction fees that we, of course, collect on that as well. But because also we collect the financial data of the farmer, and then we also enable a credit history. We also then on-sell the data to financial institutions so that they can do a credit assessment, to also do a data sharing, a revenue model on that as well.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions from investors? No, seems not yet. Watson, if I may ask also the question from the viewers, because we have a question in YouTube for you. How will you train the farmers you recruit who are not IT literate? Graham Seagal is asking.
Okay, so in Africa, in the rural areas, you've got a huge population that has got a lot of old people, but then these old people have got a lot of young people at the same time. Their kids are very young, so they go to school in the local schools. So when we train the farmer, we also train the child at the same time. Now, what that does is that once you've trained the farmer and his child, what happens is that when the child comes back from work or from school, he's able now to say, hey, father, let me help you capture data on EsusFarm. So you're actually teaching the next generation of farmers to actually farm. So it's actually generational as well.
Thank you, Watson. I hope it answered the question. It was great. So if there will be further questions, we will refer them to you later, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. And the next founder to present is from Spain. His name is Hernan Camps, and the company is Robinquick. Hi, Hernan. Hernan, we don't hear you. No.
My headphones off. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect. Yes.
All right.
Please go on.
With the headphones. All right. Yeah, I'm Hernan Camps. I come from a retailer family. They have a retail chain, and I was myself also the CEO of another retail company. And I was kind of sad to see what was happening with the physical stores. I saw they were losing competitiveness, that the great times were gone. So I kind of have the goal to make the physical stores great again. And I started analyzing it. I saw there was not like one silver bullet, not a holy grail where you can solve this problem, because it's not a complex problem, it's just complicated with different areas. Like, for example, you lose about 40% of your revenues because the product is not there, or the stock is not there, the employees are not there at the right time. Well, these kind of things. So and they had no KPIs. So in a horizontal way, we connect the different departments. And then on a vertical way, we have about 20 applications to improve the performance of the stores. And that was before the COVID. After the COVID, what we did, it's also help them. This problem, what I just mentioned, it's important, but it's not urgent. So we did something to solve the problem now, which is like bringing customers to the stores by making appointments.
Thank you, Hernan. Thank you for being in time.
No problem.
Any questions from investors?
Yeah, I would like to ask a question. How do you collect the data in store?
There are different ways. On the one hand is IoT, but that is mainly the people counter in the store. And you can also use technologies like RFID, but that one is very, very little, like almost nobody has it implemented. And we also collect data from the employees. That is actually the part we find it most differentiated from everybody. Like if you have online, it's basic that you're gonna check everything that the consumer is doing. But on the physical stores, you have no data. And then we have like different applications that the employees fulfill. Like for example, like we try to find like trend scouts within the company to see which products. We also scan with the mobile which products have been considered, and not only which products have been purchased. So things like that. And now we're also, with the appointments, we're also getting customer data, like which kind of products they would like to buy and contact information. That would be some of the examples.
Thank you, Hernan. Any other questions? Oh, Maria.
Yeah. What's your go-to-market strategy to gain merchants? Because it's quite intensive to have to go one by one.
Yeah, well, we have the pre-COVID and the post-COVID, right? The pre-COVID is where we are like analyzing data and giving insights. So that was customer by customer with very, very large accounts. So it was worth, like they have some hundreds of stores. And right now, the other model that we're bringing, while this one is still, it's on a standby, because nobody's about optimization now when the stores are empty. Now it's about bringing traffic and getting rid of the stock that you have. For that, we are going to store associations. We just closed a deal last week with Diagonal, for example, and we're also talking to shopping centers, and we're giving like to all the members of these associations or of these shopping centers either free trials or for very reduced amount, just to get a large amount, because otherwise they very often have their headquarters in many different countries. So we will be by COVID 55 before we are there. So we just prefer to give it for free for 3 months and get like a whole bunch of stores. So it's two different approaches. Pre-COVID and post-COVID, it's very different.
Thank you.
This is a good example of flexible approach towards the crisis times. Good job, Hernan.
I also have a question. It's easy to give some products for free, but how much do you charge for the store, for example? What is the exact business model and how much money can you make?
Like the post-COVID product, we launched it, and 3 days later we already have signed up with Levi's for 150 euro per store, and that took us 3 days.
Wow.
Now it's not growing like that, so it's taking more time. I don't want to be too optimistic. But normally it's 150 euro per store and per month.
I got it.
Okay, so if we don't have any other questions from investors for the moment, then if I may, I have to ask investors a few questions from the YouTube channel. So one of the questions is to Maria. Maria, what is the usual path of fintech startups that are accepted to InnoSales VC?
Can you repeat?
Yeah, what is the usual path of fintech startups that are accepted to InnoSales VC?
The use of what? Of
the
funds?
usual path.
Usual path.
The usual path. Okay, sorry.
Bad pronunciation.
Yeah. To enter into InnoSales as an to get invested by InnoSales, where there are a couple of things, right? For one side, you have to have some track record. So you have to be in around ARR of 1 million and a little bit maybe more than 1 million, and having a few clients, not necessarily banks, but it's always helpful. And for us, it's quite key, two of the things. One of them is being reducing cost for the bank. So at the end, we could use the technology to reduce the cost, or we could use the technology in the future to increase, or do a new revenue stream. So those two are the key pillars. But also looking a little bit farther down the road, we also look for technologies that could be cutting edge. So things that, for instance, back in 2016, we were looking into open banking when open banking was not even a word in England, so meaning in Spain. So things we can see or foreseeing that in the future could impact or could have a high degree of impact into the banking sector.
Okay, thank you very much.
I respond, but
thanks a lot.
I do.
Yeah, yes, I think you did. And we have a few other questions for investors from the YouTube. So if we can make this small pause and refer these questions. Sergey, the question to you is about if LETA Capital invests only in startups founded by Russian-speaking founders, or also in the startups in Europe, irrespective of the language they speak?
Actually, our main focus is Russian-speaking founders. It's pretty broad, so it's kind of former Soviet Union countries who can speak Russian, etc. But mostly they live outside Russia sometimes, or they mostly doing business outside Russia. It's our main focus. We actually don't have a strict restriction, and we can invest in any company we like. But in terms of where can we be more helpful, for example, and who likes us more, we believe that it is our sweet spot, because in my own opinion, and I think my partners also support that every startup should have their own investors, to be on the same page, etc., to have a pretty same state of the mind. So that's why we operate like this.
Thank you, Sergey. And we received also a question to Oliver in Telegram. Oliver, are you investing in blockchain projects only with tradable tokens, or you are also ready to invest in blockchain technology, but without any tokens used there?
I prefer no tokens. Yeah, that's the model we're moving to now. I think the entire tokenize everything that you see on the table as that bubble's popped for us anyway.
Thank you, Oliver, very much. Borja, Judith, I think questions to you we will receive a little bit later. So right now we will continue with the startup pitches. And I want to invite the founder from Argentina, Diego Scaiano, who is founder of NU project. Diego.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, guys, let's imagine for a moment that you can contract your auto insurance policy by selecting the services you want from different insurance company and putting together all of them in a single policy with the cheapest services. That's why we are developing a platform where people will able not only to set up their insurance policies, but also interact with all the services providers of that policy. For example, roadside assistance, car shops, mechanics, etc. And with that, we want to reduce cost for insurance companies and their customers, increasing their efficiency too, and also create a much better user experience for the insurance clients. That's all.
Thank you. You are in time. Thank you for keeping this.
Thank you.
Any questions from investors?
The regular question from me about why actually did you decide to start the business, and also what are you going to achieve with that? You know, what drives personally, in my opinion, it's actually the most important part, especially on early stage.
Okay, we decided to start this because I work in the largest roadside assistance company in Argentina. It's my family business, and we detect a lot of inefficiencies on this market. The roadside assistance is very inefficient, and when we start to analyze, we realize that all the chain of clients paying are inefficient. And it's very difficult for the client, for example, once they have a problem with their cars, solve that car. For example, if you have a problem with the car, you have to call by phone to the roadside assistant. If you need a car shop, you have to Google it. If you need to modify something of your insurance policy, you have to call by phone to the insurance policy and make a lot of paper to change them. And if you want to hire a more affordable policy, it's not possible because you can choose the services of the policy you need or you want. So we believe we want to develop the ability to people to choose, to have the freedom to choose the services they want, and after they choose the services, have in a single app access to all that service in a simple and fast way.
Why is it important to you personally? You know?
Because I work in this field and I talk with a lot of customers, always complain because our services is not good. We have 4 hours of delay. We have also the complaints of the insurance companies that say, okay, we have this problem, but we don't have the technology. We are doing our best. I believe in freedom. I believe in freedom, and I want to give the people the ability to choose.
Not a bad answer. Any other questions? Borja, you are keeping silence.
Judith? What is the business model that you're planning and the growth strategy or sales strategy for that?
Okay, basically we are going to take a commission for each policy contracted by clients.
Okay.
So who actually writes the policies?
Okay, the policy imagine that we have 10 insurance companies with us. That insurance companies, they are going to give a price of each services that they provide. And after that, we are going to create a master policy, let's say a master policy, but independently, each insurance company is going to create a small policy with that service that people hire. I don't know if I explain myself well.
Yeah, I think I understand. I just don't. If the current insurance provider is only providing one item on their policy, surely that price would be higher. Like the reason you have a larger policy is that you get a discount on the price, right? So do you currently have deals in place with those policy providers if you're cherry picking from each provider to keep the price lower than it would be over a long period of time just to buy the entire policy of everything, right?
Basically, we talked with a few insurance companies, and for example, they are going to compete because the cheapest price of each service will be the winner on the master policy of that client. So the insurance company are going to need to offer a better price to capture that client, because the platform will select the cheapest service based on the client's needs.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Oliver.
Good. Diego, you are popular because we have a few questions also to you in YouTube. So one of them is, do you get paid by a consumer insurance company or both?
Okay, this is a B2C. Okay, we are going to sell the policy to the client, and after that, after we charge that, we divide all the payments for the insurance companies, and we take a percentage of commission of each service or policy provided.
Mm-hmm. That is quite clear. And another question to you from YouTube. Yeah, the question is the following. I've owned an auto insurance agency in US. Will the US insurance companies underwrite just one part of the policy?
Can you reformulate? I don't understand.
Yeah, I agree. It is formulated a little bit strange. Guys, if you can write questions more clearly, please do it. I've owned an auto insurance agency in US. Will the US insurance companies underwrite just one part of the policy?
Okay, basically, I don't know if I understand well the question, but basically we are going to work with all kind of service providers, talking about cars, insurance company from one side and services provider for cars from the other side. And we are going to put them together to solve all the clients' needs, providing them technology and etc. For example, talking about roadside assistant again, here in Argentina, it's not possible to ask a tow with a application because our company is not well with the technology. So we are going to create the technology to give them the ability to be more efficient with the clients.
Okay, very good. And the last question to you from YouTube. How will competition between insurance companies impact your revenue?
Okay, I don't believe that we are going to compete directly with the insurance companies because we want to be a new channel for them to conquer a new world where people are used to contract things by the cell phone. For example, the millennials. We are going to open them to a channel so they can access more easily to them and can offer to them new products or already products in the market. So I believe it's a new channel for them. I don't believe they're going to compete with us.
I think the question was more not competing with you, but competing between each other, and if it can reduce your revenue or increase it somehow.
Okay, now I understand. That's when we start with a new insurance company, we are going to give them some policies to work in our platform. They are going to set all the prices for their services, and they are going to compete. Okay, if the people is looking for the cheapest price, the platform will give them the best option. If the person want to, it doesn't matter how much it costs. Okay, so the policy will be much I don't know, expensive. It depends on the client. This is demand and offer.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So just to remind one more time, if someone who is watching us on YouTube, because sometimes there are startup founders, but sometimes also investors, angels, etc. If you are interested to get in touch with any of the presenters today or with any of the investors today, let us know and we will coordinate and help you to get connected. Quarantine will not stop us from connecting each other, networking and making deals. And thank you, Diego. And I want to invite the next founder from Estonia, Luis Franco Campos Yafar from Aton Technology.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, quite well.
Great, thank you. Imagine if you could pay in your favorite store with Bitcoin instantly and anonymously, or using your local fiat currency. Aton Technology reveals its decentralized payment gateway, combining a point-of-sale terminal for merchants and a multi-platform decentralized application for its everyday users, giving our customers the ability to choose their currency. We are the first decentralized autonomous company representing Latin America and the Caribbean regions as winners of an international startup accelerator in 2019, developing high-quality products in partnership with IBM Cloud, Amazon Web Services, DigitalOcean, among others. Also, a nomination under 100 top managers in Forbes 2020. Now, we are selling 10% of equity in order to raise 1 million euros for our seed round. Thank you.
Sorry, I forgot I'm muted. I even did not have time to say stop. You did it exactly in 1 minute. Thank you, Luis. It was a very clear and very detailed presentation. Any questions from investors?
Yeah, I would like to, sorry.
No, you go, you go.
Okay, thank you. I would like to go to ask you, why do you need to put a point of sales and develop all this structure to be able to pay with any currency, even cryptocurrency you want, given that other companies such as N26 or Revolut are already putting in place this service? Thank you.
Yes, of course. The advantage that we have is that we are combining two products. One is a point-of-sale terminal, which is a hardware which we are offering to our merchants, in which the customers can go and buy using cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin, or using any fiat currency of their locality. Also, we have a multi-platform decentralized application which works in any device, which brings the value of a wallet, a Bitcoin wallet, using instant and anonymous transactions inside the Bitcoin blockchain using second layer solutions. So we find this a unique solution for worldwide use and implementation.
Borja, are you satisfied?
Yeah, mostly. I still have the I mean, he responded to my question, but something else came out, that is, why, from your point of view, why do you think this is a need? Why people do need to pay in cryptocurrencies nowadays, instead of even using any other currency or banks that transfer or convert automatically the currencies?
Yes, one of the main reasons why we're launching this is because not many people has accessibility to banking services, including fiat currencies of any other cryptocurrency. So we are trying to combine two services to offer all in one place for merchants and customers to interact with each other.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I have seen that Maria is also interested to ask something. No?
What's your revenue model? Yeah.
Yes, my revenue model or business model is divided in commissions coming from deposits and withdrawal fee commissions on the cryptocurrency deposits or withdrawal. Also, a transaction fee commissions, which vary on the fiat payments which the customer makes. And also, we have a product pricing for our hardware for our merchants.
And how you expect to compete on the hardware? I mean, it's a little bit following up on the previous question, but nowadays the merchants get for free the devices, so you are asking them to actually you're charging them for those devices when they are not having a tremendously volume of people asking for that exact solution, when you can pay using like Revolut, as it was mentioned before, or any other other ways of payments, right?
Yes.
Why would they do that right now?
Yes, because we are not offering just a common hardware. We are offering an all-in-one point-of-sale system terminal in which the merchants can have their stock or their inventory in just a portable piece of hardware, and they can also charge to their customers using debit and credit cards, and also our multi-platform decentralized application for receiving Bitcoin payments instantly and anonymously.
Good. Oliver, I have seen you also have a question.
Yeah. How do you get to a $10 million valuation for a seed round when the unique selling point is Bitcoin and blockchain, when that industry is like, I am from that industry, like the valuations are now 2-3 million max?
Okay, great. Yeah, so we have 6 years in the blockchain space and 3 years working and developing in this market. And we are comparing ourselves to our main competitors, and the funding rounds which they are having using our similar technology but separate is the same of our target valuation of 10 millions.
Who are you seeing as those main competitors?
Oh, one of them is Lightning Labs, Eclair, and other cryptocurrency companies which are working on second layer protocols in Bitcoin.
Okay, thank you.
By the way, I just wanted to ask investors if you think that the valuation is too high, or if you see some other points which you would like to point out. Don't hesitate to do it, because even if you have some critical feedback, it is more valuable than just keeping silent. So I would really appreciate if you tell what you think. And Luis, we have a few questions for you from YouTube. One of them is, by hardware, you mean a physical machine that accepts BTC, correct? And do you need to have a BTC card with a chip to make payments?
Okay, yeah, so the hardware, yes, indeed, it is a point of sale system of this size. It is kind of, it is bigger than a smartphone. And no, you don't need a card, especially for spending your Bitcoin. You can use our multi-platform application, which is working in Android, iOS, desktop, and so on. And with that wallet, you can pay instantly and anonymous using Bitcoin in our hardware.
Okay, good. And another question for you. A lot of countries still restrict BTC use for payments. Is there legal limitation for Europe?
It is not a legal limitation in Europe because the ecosystem in the blockchain has been developing for the past years, and it has been getting very mature. And we are locally established in a very crypto-friendly country, which is Estonia. So from there, we are targeting our target cities around the world to deploy our systems.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think this is a good answer. If there will be any other questions, we will refer them to you. Meanwhile, thank you, Luis. It was a really bright presentation. Anton, you appeared. You wanted to add something?
Well, no, it just was a kind of a quick second joke about the guy with the same name as me, that he's asking very interesting questions in terms of the legal activity. So it's like, you know, he's working in the secret police or something. So I just wanted to isolate myself from that guy, saying it wasn't me, guys. Just don't think about it, and that's it. And nothing less, nothing more to add. So I think that you're covering most of the questions already in there. So yeah, perfect.
Okay, thank you. And we also have the question to investor from the Telegram channel. So to Judith. Judith, can you please answer the question if GoHub also accepts startups from Latin America, or you only work as accelerator and investor with startups from Europe?
So we are mainly now focusing in Spain, but we are open to invest in any country. So yes, we look investments worldwide. No problem for that. Also, we have activities in Latin America, so we're growing there as a corporation. So yes.
Okay, good. Thank you for your answer. Then I want to invite, yeah, sorry?
You're welcome.
Okay. I want to invite the next presenter. Wait a moment, please. Yeah, the next presenter from Israel, Doron Angelovitch, and his project Ionoterra. Hi, Doron.
Mike, yes, that's it. Do you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so good evening, everybody. Thanks for having me. My name is Doron Angelovitch. I am co-founder and CEO of Ionoterra. We predict earthquakes 8 hours in advance by a technology we developed on our own. At present, early warning in countries like California, Japan, and Mexico is standing at up to 1 minute early warning. Our technology is different in a sense that we are scanning the ionosphere up above for plasma modifications, while all other systems are scanning the ground and underground. We proved our ability running the successful proof of concept during last September, and we predicted successfully 68 earthquakes in Greece and Turkey. Our technology is based on 28 years of research performed by our chief scientist, which is Professor Nathan Blaunstein. And my vision of Ionoterra is of a global earthquake prediction company providing services to countries and organizations. One last remark, majority of our staff is Russian speaking.
Thank you, Doron. You were exactly 1 time, second to second.
Thank you.
Any questions from investors?
Hi, Doron.
Yeah.
Hi, Doron. Could you expand on explaining who are you trying to sell this solution? Is it government? Is it agencies? Who is your client nowadays?
Well, basically, our service is suitable for agencies and countries, as you mentioned before, who are all influenced by an upcoming seismic event. Nuclear agencies, governments, insurance companies that are looking to warn insured persons in life insurance policy to evacuate certain places. All authorities, all agencies that are influenced by an upcoming seismic event, nuclear reactors, power plants, trains, gas and electricity supply, airports, everybody should get as long as possible early warning in order to stop ongoing activities.
And nowadays they already have softwares services in order to prevent these earthquakes?
We don't prevent, we only indicate it is coming.
Yeah, well, I was trying to refer to that. If they already have systems, or is something that you have to go to authorities and try to sell something that they didn't have before?
We have in a funnel the first country that we are starting a proof of work with them is Romania, and we should have started already, but because of the Corona delay, we will start in Q4 of 2020. And this is the first country that will most probably benefit this service. The second one that we are targeting is California. since we believe that whatever California will successfully perform will be, in a way, the biggest influencer in this field.
Okay, thanks.
Question from my side as well. Thanks. How actually the proof of concept project looks like? You know, what is the proof for potential customers? I hope it is not exact earthquake. So.
Well, our proof of concept was based in operating our system in a geographic region, which is very active from a seismical point of view. We chose the region of between West Turkey and East Greece as our let's say playing field, or the place where we have enough seismic activity in order to verify that what we are doing is actually good enough in order to provide the alerts hours in advance. We have managed to predict 68 earthquakes. They were low magnitude earthquakes. They are not high magnitude earthquakes. We are talking about 2.6 up to 3.2 Richter scale, which is something that is not bothering you in your everyday life. But the big issue is with earthquakes of 6.5, as we've seen the day before yesterday in Mexico, 7.4. These are events that we can predict many hours before, and our proof of concept was based on comparing our prediction with what the international authorities are putting available for the public. We time-stamped all our prediction with the blockchain time-stamping, so it will be fully validated, and it was all presented in our site in real time, and is still presented at this moment.
And the second question from my side as well, regarding the pricing model, because I understand that with governmental sales, you know, it's hard to actually measure the value and to do pricing based on actual value, especially in your area. So how do you price your solution?
Yes, that's a very important issue in our field. It's a very good question. We, in order to try and come up with a benchmark pricing for the Romanian project, for instance, we decided to work with one of the big four. We went to Deloitte. Deloitte produced for us a very deep report about what is the benefit value that Romania will gain if they will implement our system. The number they came back with was $1 billion. And this was the first benchmark of if we can quantify in a way what's in it for the country. And today we are talking to the Romanian government about two models. One of them is to pay for a system, a deployed system that is covering around 700 by 700 kilometers region, or otherwise to pay around 0.5% of the benefit value. Both models are roughly accepted by the state of Romania. So I will summarize my long answer, sorry. We are talking about around 0.5%, 0.5% from the benefit value, or alternatively, payment for each deployed system.
Sergey, did it answer your question?
Yes, got it completely. It's a common problem for any security startups and actually G sales. Completely understand.
Okay. Any other questions from investors here?
Yeah. Now that the solution is developed, or like a POC standpoint, can it be back tested, and has it been back tested to prove the strike rate of your predictions over a certain period of time?
Yes, definitely. Any seismic activity on Earth is monitored by international authorities like USGS, which is the American-based authority, or ESCM, which is the European one. and they are publishing everything that's happening on the ground in terms of earthquakes and volcanoes and tsunamis. We are actually comparing what we are predicting vs what the authorities are publishing, and we are showing in a clear-cut way that we were right 5, 6, 7, 8 hours before what was published by the authorities, something that we cannot control.
Okay, makes sense. Is there a strike rate on that? Like how like accurate is that? Is that like 100% of the time, or just like?
We are 98% accurate above 4.5 Richter scale.
Wow. Okay, interesting. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Oliver and Sergey, who asked questions. Doron, we also have question from the internet to you. Are there any potential commercial use cases for Ionatera product?
There are a few commercial uses. One of them is, as I mentioned, is the insurance companies, which hold a stake in life policy. We are actually minimizing to almost eliminating the risk factor in life insurance, because insurance company will have enough time to tell the insured persons to take their suitcase and go away. When we are talking about the insurance, the life insurance value of Silicon Valley, for instance, where the most important asset of company is basically the human resource, and we are going to offer this service to huge companies like, I don't know, Apple, Amazon, Google, whatever, I guess it would be commercializable. And another one is the idea that we are providing enough times for big data users, enough time to back up and to make a fully secured backup sequence.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Doron. And another question from the internet regarding California. There are a lot of small earthquakes there. Did you talk with government of California and try to sell it to them?
We are in discussions with regulatories from California, because in order to perform a proof of work in California, you have first of all to go above the regulation issue. And once we will go over the regulation issue, we will be able to start talking to authorities. I think we will be able, because we are not using so much energy. We are using very, very low frequency energy with our equipment. So I guess in a matter of 6 months, we will be able to start negotiating.
Sounds cool. And by the way, speaking about California, we have finally our late guest today, Igor Shoifot from California. Here he is. Hi, Igor.
Hi, everybody. I apologize. I had to go to the bank to open an account for one of startups. But hello from San Francisco.
That means that you help your startups not only with your money, but you open the bank account to put your money.
That's right. Anything and everything.
We just tried to solve the problem of earthquakes in California. So hope it is safe right now there, and you don't have earthquakes. Igor, if you can you please briefly introduce yourself? Because we have here 5 investors and around 11 startups. All the investors already know each other. They already made the brief introductions. So it's your time.
Yep. So I hope it's not too noisy. I apologize. I'm walking on one of our main streets, Columbus Avenue. Tell me if it's noisy. It will take me 2 more minutes to get to a quiet place. Igor Shoifot, I'm a partner at VC fund TMT Investments. We made over 60 investments, had 14 profitable exits. We have, even though we're an early investor, we created several unicorns. We were the first investors in Reich, which exited a year and a half ago. And a unicorn right now, we are the first investors in Wolt, which used to be Taxify, which right now is valued at 2 billion. And there are several other companies that are $500 million. And basically we would like to be first investors, but we always are focused on revenues. So for us, one of the main requirements is that a company would be fast growing in, in the most important measurement in the revenue. So that's basically us.
Yeah, thank you very much, Igor, for your
Sorry for the noise.
Brief intro. I hope it's okay. We have here also among your investors or potential colleagues for co-investments, Oliver from Ascensive Asset Management, Sergey from LETA Capital, Maria from Maria from InnoSales, which is VC by Banco Sabadell, Borja from Inveready, and Judith from GoHub.
Good. Hello, everybody. Good to meet you.
Okay, great. So then we will continue, and Igor, you're more than welcome to listen to the remaining startup pitches and also give your feedback and ask questions if you have any.
Yes, thank you. So sorry about being late.
That's okay. We are glad to see you. Nice mask, by the way. Very cool design. Awesome. Cool. So let me introduce you the next startup founder to pitch. He's from Singapore. His name is Chris Perry, and the company is CommX. Hi, Chris.
Hi, team. I'm Chris from CommX.io, a blockchain-based digital asset exchange helping to build the new economy. We're a team of blockchain veterans, including a Forbes under 30. And we can turn any asset on the planet, such as silver, art, iron ore, and bonds into tradable tokens. And one unique aspect about our project is we're enabling the splitting of real-world assets into tradable fractions, enabling the part ownership of assets. For example, you could own part of a Picasso painting, typically expensive if it's bought as a whole. So on our platform, you could buy a fraction of a Picasso for only a few thousand. So for example, if we could divide a painting into like parts, and then each part would be assigned a token, and proof of ownership of that token would show that you have ownership of the real world asset. This asset dividing use case could be scaled to other assets such as wholesale bonds. So if you divide them into smaller pieces, it would become cheaper for retail and institutions. It tracks each part more effectively than traditional databases, improving trade efficiencies, and drives down the costs of investing for the average Joe or Jane, making expensive assets more accessible.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Any questions from investors?
Yeah. So if you're doing this in the art world, right? The main reason a high net worth individual is going to buy a Picasso is one, to distribute their wealth, or depending on who they are, is hide their wealth. How do you then get them to agree to tokenize this art piece? And then, you know, if I hold said token of their Picasso, like, who holds the actual underlying if it's still them, right? What is the benefit for them to do so?
Okay. So basically, we're in talks with the National Gallery of Singapore, and basically the art pieces would be held in the gallery. And basically how it works is you're correct in noting like people are in it for the tax reasons. The people who buy the token don't actually get ownership of the art piece, but they do get what's called attribution, where they can still take their fractional value and subtract it from their income tax. And that was part of the discussions we've had with them. So we've got it all mapped out as well. And we've consulted some tax professionals who've helped us draw out the process.
Okay, so the target market is going to be public assets that are held by governments and whoever to increase revenue for them. Okay.
Yeah, typically, because I think, as we all know, like during this time, if we're targeting retail investors, people are struggling worldwide. But these high net worth individuals, they've still got money to spend. And in a low growth environment, people are looking for somewhere to get these sort of returns. And you often see that with these rare pieces of art, and most often than not, investing in these art pieces gives people a better return than in like the stock market indexes. So
yeah. And final question, why an exchange that targets retail? Like if a large art gallery is finally going to offer access to hold a portion of an amazing piece, right? Then a high net worth individual is just going to come in and scoop up all of the tokens. Like there's no need for an exchange, and then the trade will be done OTC.
they could do, but I guess what we would really like to see as a result of the platform is democratizing investment. Whereas before, you or I, or maybe you could afford like $1 million Picasso or something, but if we divide it into like extremely small fractions, say 100 or just a few $1,000s, that gives the average person the chance to buy something like a Picasso, broaden their portfolio into something they typically wouldn't be able to access unless they had a high, like access to an expensive wealth management account. Yeah, we believe in, like, it could be any asset. It could be real estate or something else expensive. If you split it up, like the retail market will return, and it's good to keep our options open.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. For the record, I can't afford a Picasso.
Okay.
Thank you, Oliver, for your question. Any other questions? Sergey, Maria, Igor, Judith, Borja? No. Okay. If there will be some questions, we will refer to you, Chris, later. Thank you.
Thanks.
And let me present actually the first female founder here who will pitch. Her name is, by the way, Nella, and this is just a coincidence. Nella is from Sweden. Petronella Gustafsson from ProgressMe. Petronella, come on, go on.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay. I bet you can't see my scars. In fact, they are not visible, but they are deep and they still hurt. What I am talking about here is my eating disorder that took away a big part of my life. And the help that I got from the healthcare was so focused on calories and food, something that I already knew everything about. My experience from the healthcare made me realize that something was missing, and that was the only thing that made me start ProgressMe. We at ProgressMe offer evidence-based digital tools to strengthen self-esteem among young people, developed together with psychologists, and all our methods are evidence-based, and we are focusing on cognitive behavioral therapy, which is scientifically proven and data-driven. And my name is Petronella, and I am looking forward to talk to you a little bit more. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Petronella, for being in time. Thanks a lot. Quite heart-touching speech, in my opinion. Igor, you want?
Yeah, if possible, definitely. I agree. Very touching, and would be a great impact investment for anyone. My question, what's the business model? Is that some sort of a subscription, or how does it work?
Yes. From the start, we are going to a subscription about like, I understand that you are having like a little bit different type of like costs from Sweden, but we are going in a subscription model for 79 crowns, Swedish crowns per month for the people who is downloading the app. The only problem here is that we don't want the people who is having an eating disorder to be the paying users. So we are now having a concept that we are working on for relatives and parents. And we are also working on a digital system for the healthcare. So we don't want the people who is like feeling bad to be the paying users.
Mhm. And is there some traction that you can share in terms of growth and also customer acquisition? Okay.
Yes, like I'm sorry, I'm smiling. It's like actually really bad that there is this big traction, but I don't want I don't want it to be this big traction. I want it to be less because it's so many people who is feeling bad, but I want it to be less people feeling bad. But yeah, there's a big traction because we are, I think that we are like the only people in the only company in the world who is actually working with eating disorders in this kind of way. But yes, we developed like an MVP of an app that we made 1 year ago, and we got more than 3,000 downloads without making any marketing. We're also having a digital forum where we have more than 5,000 people who has been going in and signed in. So yeah, there is a big traction, and we have not been doing any kind of marketing, any kind of like reaching out to everybody. But what we're doing now is that we wanted to like try to reach out and not just be in Sweden. We want to reach out to other countries as well.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Igor, for your interest. Thank you, Nella, for answering the question. Any other investors have questions?
Yeah. What's your go-to-market strategy? So how you're thinking of like going to other markets?
How to go to market? Right now, we are in a position where we are trying out the app with several like different users, and we are already have one team in Sweden and one team in Canada. So like the go-to-market is based on that we need to focus on like develop more things in the app so that it can be like based on different kind of countries and different kind of like needs for yeah, different users. And yeah, I don't really know how to answer this this question, but like I am very like happy to like try to talk to different like business developers, and I am moving myself to Barcelona now to see if we can like solve things together so that we can like also reach out to a different market, because at the moment we are in 3 different markets. We are having one investor from Finland, and we are working in Denmark and in Sweden and in Canada. So my mission right now is that I want to move to Barcelona and get the help from InnMind, which is like my contact people from Spain, and see where I can go from there. So it would be super nice if you also wanted to like be in contact with me a little bit more and see what we could like solve together.
I think sounds like a good plan. By the way, Maria, Judith, and Borja are based in Barcelona, and Oliver is also somewhere nearby. Yes?
In Madrid, but
in Valencia.
I'm in Madrid, but
okay. Sorry, Maria, I forgot. Yes, indeed, you are in, but it's just nearby. And with all the rest, we can help you to communicate via email. Thank you, Petronella, for your pitch. And
I'm really sorry if I didn't like answer your question properly. I am just like very and new in like the way of contact in people in Spain and.
Don't worry, it's fine. Don't worry.
So I
Thank
just
you.
want to like try to talk in the most proper way. So
thank you. Don't worry.
It's okay. So Petronella, thank you. You are very brave. Don't be so shy. Everything is very good. And I want to invite another founder. He's also from France. His name is Anis Bey, and the project name is Kestya. I hope I pronounce it properly.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, Anis, very well.
Thank you. So, hi everyone, thank you for the invitation. In any learning process, students' question plays an important role. However, it's not always easy for students to ask their questions, nor for the instructor to answer them. So we have built Questia, which is an online platform that allows instructors to give learners a way to ask questions about a course in an anonymous and a constrained manner, even before or after the lecture. And thanks to artificial intelligence algorithms, the platform begins building a virtual assistant to answer questions progressively and becomes more efficient and autonomous over time. Through the questions.
Where are you? Okay.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, did you finish your pitch?
No, not yet, because I hear some voices. That's why.
I think someone did not mute the microphone. That was the problem. Right now, everything is silent.
Okay.
You have 15 more seconds.
Okay, so, okay, thank you. And thanks to artificial intelligence algorithms, I said, the platform begins building a virtual assistant to answer questions progressively and becomes more efficient and autonomous over time. And through the questions asked previously via the platform, the instructor will get immediate feedback on his course to improve it for the next sessions. And the most important thing is to have engaged students. Also, we will replicate this solution and implement an enterprise version, which means that enterprises or companies could use these solutions to let their employees ask questions and find answers about some processes, knowledge, or anything else related to the company. And by this manner, they capitalize the enterprise knowledge, which can bring many benefits to companies and enterprises. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Anis. Thank you for your presentation. Any questions?
May I?
Of course.
Yes, I'd rather probably make like a general comment. It's not so much a question to all startuppers who haven't pitched yet. The very key in your pitch is not really the description of the idea, even if it's very early. The very key is how it is a business. So in other words, please make sure in the 3 minutes that you have to dedicate at least 1/3 of it, maybe more, to what you're doing in business. In other words, how you're acquiring customers, what's your customer acquisition costs, what's your lifetime value, what's the business model, what's the dynamic of growth, etc. Even if your startup is very, very early, let's say, 3 weeks old, but hopefully more than that, what you need to do is you need to spend, I don't know, 20 euros here, 20 euros there, to try and test and see what the conversion, what the customer acquisition costs would be in specific channels. This is, at least to me, maybe my colleagues would disagree, but at least to me, this is the most important part, because we all have, great dreams and great ideas, etc. But ideas on themselves do not mean much. What really means everything is business. Thank you very much. It's just a general comment.
Igor, thank you so much for this intervention and very good notice. Do we have questions from other investors? Because actually I also wanted to ask other investors to give the feedback to the projects if possible. Anis was the last founder to present today because we have one more cancelled, unfortunately, due to family reasons. And first of all, questions to Anis, if you have any.
I would like to understand what is which is the client you're trying to acquire. I didn't really get if it was focused on formation or educational purposes, or is it within companies to help employees to learn and improve.
Yeah, there is two solutions. The first one is dedicated to academic institutions, so to let teachers to use these solutions with their students, and the other solutions is for companies that can use this platform to let employees to ask and find answers for their questions.
Okay, thanks.
And the question from my side, I can just go to the product page in InnMind, and what do you actually call artificial intelligence in your case? You know, today is every machine learning model became artificial intelligence. Before that was statistical models. So in your case, what do you call artificial intelligence?
I didn't get the question. You mean which model I will use, or which kind of machine learning?
I mean, what actual algorithm do you use? Yes, and why do you actually need to use machine learning in your product?
Yeah, we use an NLP, natural language processing algorithms, to build the model that be trained by the questions asked by students and answered by teachers.
Mm-hmm. Is it your own model, or I mean, you're using some kind of very well-known frameworks, and just train it on your own corpuses?
Yeah, we have not yet a corpus that could be used for training the model, but we try to use we train the model by over time till we will reach a model that responds that will answer the question of students independently from teachers.
I don't really understand what is the unique selling point of this product. Like, if this is a platform to allow students to ask a question to the teacher anonymously, but then an algorithm gives the answer back. Like, isn't the whole point of having a teacher so that you get direct access and direct confirmed information that's 100% legit from said person or teacher, instead of an algorithm? I could just use Quora for that, no?
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, what is the reason to use this? If I the reason I have a teacher, and like, if I'm obviously nervous or I want to ask the teacher something anonymously, then I would use this platform, and then the teacher can answer the question, to me anonymously. But then where does the artificial intelligence part come in to answer the question progressively? Like, what is the point of that? Because then I'm not actually asking the teacher, right? I'm getting a response on what the algorithm thinks the teacher's going to say.
Yeah, but the intelligence artificial algorithm will answer will give the answer that the teacher could answer the students.
Right.
It's to
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Anis. Thank you, Oliver, for asking. So, guys, from investor side, I want to ask you, if possible, to do something similar what Igor has done previously. However, he was the latest, but he gave some feedback immediately when he heard that some points in the pitch are missing and some important things are not featured or exposed enough. So maybe can you give some feedback? You've heard today 11 startup pitches, and some of them were really bright, some of them were brave, but maybe lacking some special information which you focus on. So would really appreciate if you can give some feedback and advice.
Let me start. I just want to add to what Igor said. Exactly. In my opinion, in the very limited time, when you have like 1 minute, 3 minutes, I don't know, but when the time is very limited, and especially in early stage, not in some cases you definitely should talk about business, but in some cases you definitely need to find something in your business, like an anchor, to give us impressions and willingness to continue the dialogue, to ask some additional questions, to ask about business. Like if you have the greatest traction, show us traction. If you have the best benchmarks in the whole market in your area, show us market. If you have some bright team, everyone knows, show us team. So when you have like a 1 minute, show something. But in cases if you're trying to be in some very regular time frame and very regular framework about kind of pitch, I think investors don't like that way, because if I don't understand why should it anchor me, I won't talk in the future with a startup. I like the great example in that way. For example, when Jack Dorsey, his first flight and his second startup is about his team, and I believe that no investors actually want to read other slides. But if you are not Jack Dorsey, for example, you have to show something different. Maybe it's product, market, I don't know, something big, and your big vision in that case.
Yeah, I agree. That's a great example.
Yeah, I was going to talk just before Sergey, and he basically said something that I was going to say. I completely agree with him, and I was going to say that I was not 100%. I didn't agree at all with Igor, because we are in the end making pitches of 1 minute. It's super hard to present your company in 1 minute. And what the exercise that I would do is, okay, what are the top 3 achievements I made in my company? What are my top 3 strengths? And I try to focus on them and share them instead of trying to say too much super fast or whatever. Make 3 points super clear, because in the end, the investor will be engaged because of these strong points. So focus on your strong points and try to get a second conversation, which should be the goal today.
Amazing advice. Thank you, Borja. Judith, you want to add something?
Yeah, but Maria also wanted to add.
No, go ahead, Judith. That's fine.
Well, adding to what Borja said, for me also was missing a bit of vision in the future, no? Like very shortly, what is the vision of the company and where they see themselves in 1 year or 2 years, no? Yeah, this is.
Maria?
For me, well, I agree with the last comments, but also I will kind of point out where you are. I mean, what the state of the company. Many of you guys didn't, at least for me, didn't say on where you were. You had a customer, not a customer. That should have been asked by someone of us in order to know which state you were. And I think that's but maybe it's a strength. I mean, if you have already customers, if your MVP went really well, I think it's something that you should point out in that minute. And then the second question for me is like, I mean, we probably are going to ask the same questions over and over. There's no, like revenue model, go to market, like things that are copy paste that you should really know beforehand and before going into any pitch, that they are like, the key points that any of us will ask. So have them ready and have them prepared, even though you know by memory. But we should not get you in like the simple one.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed. Being in one wave and making one template for everyone, it is not boring, guys. It helps investors to put you in the right shelf from the first minutes and to understand better where you go. Oliver, I fell in love with your cruel, sometimes feedbacks, but very detailed. So do you want to say something now?
Okay, I'll find something. I think when you approach something like this, when there's a wide array of like investors who have completely different strategies, like obviously Maria is on behalf of a bank, and I am on behalf of like my private investors, right? And we have a completely different strategy. So when you come in to pitch a broad array of people, I think simplicity is going to be the key. Instead of over explaining like your product from a technical standpoint, like just explain why this is actually needed. Because currently in the entire industry, there's way too much money in the venture capital industry, and there's way too many ideas of stuff that just doesn't need to be done, right? So I have hundreds of pitch decks that come across my deck, which is just total rubbish. You know, people want to raise money for somebody to come to their house and walk their cat for them. But like, so now it gets to the point where people don't even really pay much attention to deal flow. So you need to have that unique selling point, and it needs to be simple and easy to understand within 10, 15 seconds, and something different. I think the main was Doron, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, from Ionoterra, who, like, you know, the earthquake problem is a thing and we have a solution to solve it. And this is where we're going to make money is by offering this to governments and nations, right? That's just 3 things, simple, done, easy to understand. And then you either like the idea or are intrigued by it, and then you would go on to then do further research and follow up. And if anybody has a product to stop people, like to notice people that's not on mute all the time, then I think I'll be the first person to fund that.
I would do that too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Oliver. That's amazing. Thank you very much for your feedback. Igor, do you want to add something to that? I know that you heard only 2 speeches, but you have had experience from your VC kitchen, which you have, and this was our first experience. So that would be great and valuable if you can share your.
No, I think it's awesome. I think kudos to you for bringing a lot of different investors, from what I understand, from very different perspectives, et cetera, et cetera. My suggestion, and those of you who don't know, VC Kitchen is a place where Russian-speaking startups pitch, but also English-speaking could as well. We've done it for a couple of months, but I think we just sort of ran into a very interesting disagreement among different investors, and I think this could be interesting to sort of discover further. Happy to participate if there is such a discussion, sort of what VCs or angels or corporate investors are looking into. I don't think there is one fits all. I agree with several speakers here that there are different approaches. I definitely, our approach works for us, and I'd be happy to defend it and to listen to other approaches.
Anyone wants to jump in a fight?
It's super friendly. I wouldn't call it a fight. Cool.
I think everyone got impressed and shy right now. Thank you, Igor, for these points. And guys who were presenting today, you were all brave and you were all bright. Some of you really needed to make some homework to polish your pitches and to make it the most important thing, which all investors said, is to make it clear. Don't try to do it too comprehensive or to put indeed everything in 1 second, but make it clear and talk about business perspective. Here we don't have any charities, and even if there are impact investors, they are looking for impact which creates also profits. So don't forget the business part in your pitches, because sometimes you are so much focused on your product and value creation that you simply forget that you are making business and you are pitching to investors who need to create returns. So that is an important point to remember for all of you. And of course, we will be glad to help all of you to prepare better pitches in the following rounds. Meanwhile, I want to add a few questions from online to the investors participating here, because we also have the live stream in YouTube, and we received some questions in YouTube and in a Telegram group. So one of the questions which every investor is welcomed to answer is, there is a saying, fake it until you make it. If we add some fake information to the pitch, would it be correct, or investors will be pissed off?
If I may, sorry if I'm monopolizing, but I'm gonna go soon. So we looked at more than 13,000 deals in the last 10 years. And also as an angel, I looked at several thousand deals. Sometimes startuppers just lie outright. I don't think it's nice or good, but I think there is a difference between lying and bluffing. And it's a very interesting line. I think intentionally misleading and lying is ethically not a nice thing. Plus, you could be discovered during due diligence. Plus, there is actually some legal action that VCs might take. But then there is a part that is bluffing. We're not necessarily playing chess here. We're sort of playing a poker game here. And so I'm not suggesting that you lie. Actually, it's a bad idea. But you don't necessarily have to say, we're falling apart. The company is in shambles. We have the last $100 left. That's not how you're going to survive. But if somebody asks you, if you lie, you're taking a risk. Plus, it's not a very nice thing. So it's a very strange line. I made a whole episode on this, but I think bluffing to a point is fine. But I think lying is bad, if not for ethical reasons, then for reasons that you would be discovered. So that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, thank you, Igor, for the summary. Anyone wants to comment as well?
Yeah, I can fire on that one. I think just outright lying, like if you do that, you're going to get caught regardless, right? Because even if you're contemplating doing it in the first place, you're not good at it, right? Period. But there's a difference between lying directly and then lying with data. Or there's a really good book called How to Lie with Statistics, which instead of lying, you're actually just manipulating the information to present a specific bias, which is just, I guess, mainly aesthetical, right? And a lot of founders don't do that. Which obviously I shouldn't really be saying this as an investor to do that, but like if you want to capture the eye of someone, you need to know what data you should present and what you shouldn't. And every single piece of information can be manipulated to suit a specific investor that you're targeting. Yeah, that's I think a good thing founders should look into and learn if they're struggling with their pitch deck, not really getting any traction.
Good point. Thank you, Oliver. Everyone agrees? I see that. Yeah, Sergey wants.
One comment to add. Actually, I don't like approach like line approach. I think you have to sell the future. That's the difference. So if you don't have something, just tell us that you will have it, and when you have it, and how do you make it, and that's why you need, for example, some additional investments, etc. So just sell your ability to have it in the future. Because you can't build the trustworthy relationship if you start with some kind of fake from the very beginning. So that's only a short comment from my side.
Yeah, for me, I agree with Sergey. I mean, for me, just don't lie. At the end, as Oliver mentioned before, I mean, we're from different kind of VC. So in ours, you're gonna get got 100%. In the sense that either it's going to be through a diligence, either it's going to be through a POC. But if you lie in something, it's going to like something that you have on your check and then you don't have it or things like that. And I don't think for the long run, you're going to have a partnership with someone that has lied straight to you in your face, right? It's irrespectively of the need that they had to do it, why they had to do it. It's just, I just don't want to have this kind of like investor startup relationship in the long run. It's not worth it.
Yeah, just to add here, from my point of view, the line between selling and lying is super thin. So I'm also in the side of people who believes in 100% transparency, and I think that all good startup will find an investor that is a fit with what they do. So if you're not selling enough, you will find a fund that don't require sales to invest in. So just be transparent, generate a confidence relationship with the fund, and and all good projects will find an investor. I'm completely sure about it.
Amazing. You see, guys, nobody likes lies. Definitely, it is obvious, but investors can understand and consider that your lie is not really a lie, but a kind of attempt to bring facts which will happen soon, a little bit earlier. Then, like that, it sounds better, I guess. Thank you, everyone, for being with us today. Investors, you are great, everyone. Oliver, Sergey, Maria, Judith, Borja, that's amazing job. And you are all impact investors since today, because you really made an impact on your feedback and with all your comments and spending time. I see many of you are melting because it is so hot now in Europe and crazy hot weather. Thanks a lot for your time. Startup founders, as I said, great job. Thank you for being with us. I hope that you pointed out all the comments from investors and even critical feedback you keep in mind. What we will do next, we will send all investors the whole pitch decks with all the details about each startup founder presented here. And we will collect your feedback also after that as a follow-up. If you find any of the founder interesting enough to get in touch later and to continue follow-up, maybe not for investment deal tomorrow, but to observe, to keep an eye on, to track the traction, sorry for tautology, we will be absolutely happy to introduce you to them and to put you in touch so that you can discuss privately. If you have any comments or any suggestions on how to make our next workshop like this better, please share with us now or later if you are hesitating to be too direct. And we will greatly appreciate it. It was the first format like that with several different investors and more than 10 startups. And we will continue doing it every month. Hope to see same investors here and hope to get more new investors. So thank you very much, guys. And thank you for guys in YouTube and in Telegram who were sending this sometimes tricky questions to founders and investors. And any comments from your side, guys?
No, I just think next time we could do less founders, so there's more time for like questions, like to get down to details more.
Less founders and more investors, or less founders but the same amount of investors, and for example not 1 minute pitch but 2 or 3 minute pitch.
Yeah, I think maybe give them 90 seconds to pitch and then a longer period of time to like answer questions. Then I think it might be better to do the more events instead of one with more people, right? So maybe like 6 startups that can thoroughly get grilled by investors, like proper questions instead of just the basic simple ones.
Sounds good and realistic, and maybe also segmentize them better. So I mean that, for example, I have seen like when you, Oliver, got excited when it was about anything around blockchain, and Maria got excited about fintech, and Borja woke up when he heard about the Ionoterra with deep tech. So maybe we should also do more strict segmentizing. We tried to do it right now, but still I see that there were some differences, correct?
Yeah, I mean, just from my standpoint, I'm also happy to even hear pitches for stuff that I have sort of no investments in prior to, but I think every investor in the current climate will expand outside of their niche if the opportunity is there, right? Everybody's here to make money at the end of the day. So
good, yeah, perfect. Then thank you very much, guys, and I wish you a beautiful afternoon, and we will follow up with all of you later with all the details. Thanks a lot, we appreciate your help.
I just wanted also to say, like, thank you so much for all the comments and everything. It's been really a pleasure to to be in this, and I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. So thank you, and I hope that you all gonna enjoy your afternoon.
Thank you, Nella.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, guys, and have a
Thank you,
nice
bye.
evening.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye.